This is Christoph Yalik.
This is Just Janet.
And this is K. Colley.
And this is
the Just Nuggets Podcast.
Just Nuggets. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's the most wonderful time.
JJ's ready to go.
JJ's ready.
Christoph, how you feeling?
She's feeling festive. I'm feeling good.
Yes, it's not our Christmas episode, but it is our end of the year episode. And because it's the end of the year episode, we know the Nuggets lost last night.
Yeah, we do.
On a back-to-back. We know it was a struggle. We know that we beat Memphis the game before. So it's not that we went 0-2, but we did go 1-1.
Actually, they were on a 6 game winning streak. Yeah.
Before. So we know what the Nuggets are up to. We know what we're getting.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was bracketed the Thunder. 6-game Thunder.
Before we go into what we're gonna do today, it's a special episode. I do want to say, AG, get healthy. I know
Please,
that
AJ, we're praying for you.
The dog incident, never great to see.
No.
So we do want to give our shout outs to AG. But this episode, we want to go do something kind of different than the Just Nuggets episode usually does. We want to do a year in review about how the Nuggets won a championship this year, and also what is our favorite moments of the year.
Okay.
So I do want to start with Christoph Yalik. Let's go start with you. What is the game of the year for the Nuggets?
For the Denver Nuggets?
We're in the Just Nuggets podcast, episode 1. Episode specifically, segment 1.
You know how in in drafts, NBA or otherwise, people reach. My first, I didn't expect to go first, so I'm gonna do a reach, the one I thought of.
Okay.
My game of the year for the Denver Nuggets was Game 4 in LA.
Oh.
That ended with the Jamal plus AG stop to that was such a defensive play. It had Jokic on the 1 foot throwing the ball over his head and going nothing but swish. You know what I mean? It was sweeping the Lakers. It was on the road. And it cashed a check, and those Nuggets were going to the NBA Finals for the first time in their history.
Yeah.
I know there's other ones out there. However, that game was just such a surreal moment. I never thought the day. I honestly, I was a Nuggets fan that came to the conclusion when I was 20 something. I was like, I probably will never see the Nuggets win, and that's cool. Because I found something that I love, a team that I love unconditionally.
Yeah, win
or lose. And I don't really necessarily care if they win or lose. I want them to win all the time. But if they lose, I'm a Nuggets fan. You can have me when it's, Darrell Arthur and Ty Lawson. let alone Joakim Noah. So when I had that and I saw that and they were just going to the finals. I'm saying. Right. So it's shout out to Danilo Gallinari and Linus Kleza. So you know what I mean? So it's it's just one of those things. I know, I'm just saying Earl Boykins. So it's when they went to the finals, that was all those players. I'm being facetious, the Nick Van Exels and the Antonio McDyess, the Ray Flafrences. Those pop in my head. Yeah. Those moments, the James Posies. Those pop in my head, and I'm the Denver Nuggets are going to NBA Finals. No. So that was the game of the year for me.
I love that you picked that pick, because if you are a true Nuggets fan, the Nuggets have had our struggles with the Lakers, right? So we had the 90, was it 94? We lost to the Lakers. No. 85. Alex English and all them lost to Magic Johnson and them. It just felt like every time the Nuggets needed to go to the NBA championship and win it.
Shout out to another Nuggets legend, JaVale McGee, having a 2020 game.
Yeah.
I think I was in 2013, somewhere in there.
The Nuggets always had to go through the Lakers. Whether it was even in the bubble, we had to go through the Lakers.
Yeah.
Whether Carmelo Anthony, go through the Lakers.
Yeah.
So for us to get over the Lakers, and to be honest, if we won in Game 7, it might not have meant that much. We swept these brothers.
Who's your daddy?
Oh, goodness.
Not to mention, LeBron James, a top 3 best basketball player of all time, was sitting on that court all 4 games. Anthony Davis, who's a top 75 basketball player of all time, was on that court. So for the Nuggets to win that game and to sweep the Lakers, that is a moment in Nuggets lore that you will never forget.
What was yours?
Well, I was going to also let JJ's go first.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, I think you picked a great one. That was good. But, the one staying with the championship. If you pick the one against the going into it, I'm gonna pick the one coming out of it because that last one was. It's hard to get that one. I mean, it's hard to close out anyone. It's hard to close out a series, let alone a championship series where you could be holding the trophy. Yeah. And it was a tough game. It wasn't easy. Yeah. It was back and forth. Miami wasn't putting down. Butler wasn't letting up. I mean, we got their best. We got everything, and we won. I love that game because it was the end of it.
And where were you when that happened? Where were you at?
I was at bar watching, and I got there at 3:00 to get a seat. The line was out the door, and I went there. It was a View House in Littleton, and I got a booth. I was right in front of the big screen TV, and the people went mad. It was just a lot of fun.
One thing I'll always remember about that game, it was nerve-wracking.
Oh, it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, that was the most nerve-wracking game I ever
that
watched.
game, it was like, we knew it was at stake, but it was also like, God. Miami's not, like you said.
We're a better team.
Miami was not, we knew we were a better team, but the thing about Miami, and hats off to them, LeBron-style hat off to him, they were never going to die easy. You know what I mean? And they just kept coming. And it never was a comfortable watch, that game. The Nuggets were trailing going into the fourth. They were trailing early in the fourth. And it wasn't until KCP, as my guy Kaz said, got it past the timeline that it was like,
oh no!
That the air left out of us in relief. It's like they're gonna do it.
I'm still getting goosebumps.
Yeah,
that's how crazy it was. Because if you grew up in Denver,
or just were a Nuggets fan,
or just a Nuggets fan, don't get me wrong, but the NBA, it's not like the baseball where you can pay for a championship. Like NBA,
you can pay for a championship in baseball.
No. I'm a Yankees fan. Don't hate me, just Nuggets.
All right.
You could pay a lot of money and not win a championship.
Let's see if the Dodgers win.
And the Rangers just spent $1 billion for the last year, so you can do it.
Bottomless.
However,
basketball is. You have to be the best team for 16 of those games in the playoffs.
And you have to beat a team 4 times. That's a really good team.
You can never. I would never discount a championship in the NBA over anything. NFL even. You can say, hey, you guys weren't that good. You guys, because even Tampa Bay when they beat the Chiefs, my fault.
Okay, well, here we go.
I don't know if they're necessarily the best team, but they played the best for those last 4 games, right? Sure. But anyways, in basketball, you have to keep winning. Yes, same with hockey. Same with baseball. I guess I'm missing my point now. 4. But more or less, you have to be the best team. Yes. For a lot of games.
Yeah.
So for the Nuggets, you can never take that away from them. You can never take that championship away.
No.
They did win 16 of 20 games.
Oh, I know.
They won 16 of those.
That was an all-time team.
We had a great team. And Christoph will say it. JJ's will say it. We knew we were going to win that championship in 2021.
We did.
I know people that aren't from Denver that say you all were never going to win. But when we got AG, we had AG, Michael Porter, Nikola Jokic, and Jamal Murray on that court.
4 of the people we had needed.
Before Jamal got hurt, those 8
and
games,
before we got KCP.
We sat there and said, this team, without a doubt, is a championship team.
They're the best team in basketball for 5 games. We had to rearrange
some things. We had to go get KCP. We had to bring Bruce Brown. We had to bring in Calvin Booth.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that team was a championship
team.
No doubts about it. And to see it actually happen could almost bring tears to your eyes.
Yeah.
I had to interject really fast and kind of pat ourselves on the back. This podcast, the first episode ever. Yeah. I'll pause for a second. You guys can go back and listen to it.
Yeah, because that was in 2023 while we're recapping.
2022.
No, it was 2022.
Yeah. So I'll pause. Okay. I'll let you guys go back and listen to it. Okay, welcome back. We knew first episode we called it championship season because the writing was on the wall, and the fact that they had it going for him. And I shouted out his brother last episode or recently, but my boy Mikey Mooch, he said it in 2015. I'll never forget it. We were up in Boulder at CU during spring break, and he said the Warriors are going to win the championship, and I was like, nah, I think the Thunder, or whomever, the Heat, whoever else I thought was going to be at the time. He's like, no, they just have the best team in basketball.
Yeah.
And when you see, and I believe he's a Warriors fan. And he watched it being in the Bay Area. He went to Santa Clara, and he saw that what we saw coming up into those dates was that when you have a team that's just definitively the best, you can see it from a mile away.
Yeah.
It's just like, can it happen? Like, Lord knows things can change on a night in San Francisco when someone goes up for a layup, you know?
Yeah.
If you stay healthy or you don't get like Tim Donahue to call your games or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can get there and you can see it from a distance. And we did that. And I guess
it was a special moment. It's just truly
it was a special team, special year. What was your game of it? What was the game of the year for you?
And just being in Denver during those moments was special too. Just being in the parade and the people and filing out of your restaurant, just seeing everybody go crazy. Because I do think I wasn't here for when the Broncos won, so I don't know. I know the energy was twice as crazy because the Broncos won. But just to see that first championship for a new team, because the Avs had already won, the Broncos had won. That Nuggets energy is special because you bring a lot of different people to Denver. My favorite moment, and since you all took the obvious one, I will take the less obvious one, Christmas Day. Christmas Day was a special
Let's stop this. I'm not going to let you do that. You have to choose a different one. Because Christmas Day was in 2022.
Oh, we just had a
Are you going to say the one versus Dallas? Excuse me, versus Golden State?
Right.
Okay,
right.
cool.
The AG did
I just wanted to stop you before some Twitter guy saw
really
Twitter gal.
All right, I'll go playoff base too. Okay. I'll go game. Was it game 1 against the Suns when we blew them out? Was that when we blew them out in game 1 in Denver? Or was that game 2?
Oh, we won. Yeah, in Denver. Yeah.
We blew out the Suns, and I guess I also took game 1 with the Lakers, but I think part of being a Nuggets fan is it's like ecstasy and agony.
Yeah, agony.
Agony, right? So you have these moments of like, we can do anything in the world, we can be champions, and then it's like, we're nowhere near being champions.
Right.
When we blew out the Lakers, when we blew out the Suns, in those game 1s, it gave such a, this is our year moment again. Mm-hmm. When we was blowing out, because we were up in Avon. We were up in Avon when the Nuggets were playing Golden State. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it was game 1 or game 2.
It was game 1.
It was game 1. The Nuggets killed the Suns.
Yeah.
And when you see an all-time great in KD, and when the NBA 100 comes out, Devin Booker potentially should be on there, right?
Same with Nikola Jokic.
Well, Jokic, of course.
Yeah.
But those are two people that should be on there, right?
Yeah.
So these are two people that are some of the best basketball players that ever played. To see us destroy those Suns in a playoff game was so important for the Nuggets' morale to say, hey, we can do this.
Yeah.
So if you all are taking those other games, I will take the Suns game.
Okay.
Because that was a special moment.
All right.
So speaking of moments. What was your favorite moment of the year?
Moment of the year?
So maybe different than, so it could be maybe Jamal jumping into the pool with Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
What is that special moment that you all thought of?
I don't know. There's got to be a moment when Jamal got back and with
I gotta say it. When he said, I guess it's 2 moments split up, but it's like makes one comprehensive moment. On the podium, they're like, do you want to stay for parade?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, when's the parade? He said Thursday. He's like,
Yeah,
I just want to go home. And then fast forward to the parade, he had a couple bevies in him, and he said, I know I didn't want to, when I say he, Nikola Jokic, the man, the myth, the legend that he is, he said, I don't want to go on, he said, I said I didn't want to go parade, but I want to effing stay parade. And that was indicative of what they've been saying. Like, we'll get into it a little bit, but like, Jokic, he has this quote out there that is just iconic at this point. He said, my motivation is winning, my lifestyle is winning, my obsession is winning. And when he said, I want to stay on parade, and then I heard that is the lifestyle comes from being obsessed with success. Mm-hmm. That is, it kind of is indicative. I know once more, like you say some pretty profound things when you've been drinking.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes you hit that level, and then it gets really, whatever. Yeah, but like, he hit it, like that was like a little peek into his brain. He said, I want to effing stay on parade. Mm-hmm. And I just love that. Like, everybody erupted.
I want to always be successful. I want to always win. this feels good. Mm-hmm. I know how it feels now. I can't get away from this ever. I want to come back here. So that
had to be, I don't know, that's peak moment. Well, that's up there with like, this one's for John, or this one's for Pat. Like that's like a Denver in my brain.
Yeah, it could be.
That is a Denver moment that just will stay on. It's like you can have that at an Avs rally, and it will never happen, Denver. I hate to break it to you, but if you're at a Rockies ceremony when they've won something, and you can say, I want to effing stay on parade, that shirt can be worn around the Civic Center, and it will get so much love.
Sports, really.
For sure.
No, my moment was one of the. I don't know what game it is. You're gonna have to help me. When Jamal came back, and he had been just trying to get back his what he does, and he had a moment in one of the games when he just let it go. He let it fly. He had a great game, and he tested he tested everything he had within him after he came back the start, because they had kept him out all of the last season, and then this season, championship season, they put him in, and so they eased him in. He was on minutes restriction and whatever. But when he finally got there, I don't know what game it is, but the moment for me was when you could see that he was hitting his shots, he was contributing, he was back, he got his 20-plus points. He started getting all that, and I just think one of those moments in my memory was that.
Like Christoph said, which moment you're talking about is in 2022 when he hit that jumper.
Portland jumper.
That game winner in Portland.
I know.
2022.
I didn't want to do it either.
I didn't want to do it too, but that was the moment, Jamal.
Well, okay.
All you're saying
I know we're talking
moment,
about, yeah.
You know what you should talk about? The Knicks, Nuggets versus Boston, because that was the moment.
That was on New Year's Day.
Basically, what you're saying is the same. When the Nuggets beat Boston that year, that series, in New Year's, that was when you could feel the energy.
So they had a good Christmas when we can't talk about that one. Can't talk about that one. So then on New Year's Day of 2023.
Christoph, can I get your hat real quick? I know this is bad podcasting.
Awful podcasting.
Awful podcasting. But I just wanted to demonstrate what my favorite moment was.
Okay.
All right. Nuggets just sweep the Lakers. LeBron James had already passed, he had already passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, best scorer of all time.
Yes, he had.
They got beat by the Nuggets, and they're asking all these questions.
Swept
by the Nuggets. Asking all these questions to LeBron about how good is Nikola Jokic, blah, blah, blah. You know what LeBron did? Sometimes you got to tip the hat. I took off my hat, podcast. I took off my hat. That's what LeBron did. When you saw LeBron tip that hat,
that was a moment.
Over. That's when you knew the Nuggets was winning the championship.
Yeah.
The best player in the world was LeBron James. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you can always compete and say someone else. You can always say Nikola. Yeah. You can always say Jokic. you can always say Joel Embiid. You can always say KD. Mm-hmm. But LeBron is the NBA's GOAT, regardless of what you say right now. Mm-hmm. For him to tip that hat off to Jokic, that was a championship to Denver.
And it was super profound to what you said at that moment. He, as well as Nuggets Nation, as well as the people outside of that were coming, turning onto it. The Celtics, who just had gone to the NBA championship, were alive. I think they were only down 2-0 when the Nuggets clinched. With their game 3 coming up the next night. So, he was like, it don't even matter who coming out the East. It really don't. It could be Boston. It could be Miami.
Because they beat me.
Moral of the story, it was because he beat me, but it was also because I like to. I guess you laughing at
I'm laughing at the fact y'all if they beat me, y'all ain't gonna beat them. Yeah. LeBron is that type of guy. Too.
He is that type of guy, no doubt. Yeah. But I would also say is yes, he's that type of guy. Let's get that out the way. But I think he understands the NBA, and he says that team right there, they're organized the correct way to win a championship.
He knows Mike Malone. He was under a coach under.
Yeah, and
beef would come later between those two.
Of course.
And he understood that they made adjustments, because remember Rui was was adjustment number A. He was Nikola Stopper, and then later in the game, and they had D'Angelo Russell, who I think is still putting up shots right now. Still shooting up that, just make sure, but he came in, he was supposed to get hot off the bench, and then Vandy was supposed to be doing something.
Austin Reeves was supposed to be the guy.
The
guy that was going to stop the Nuggets.
Oh yeah. Whatever.
News break. None of that happened. So, the fact that he did do that, he tipped the hat to Nikola Jokic, to the Nuggets. That was profound, and something that should warm every Nuggets fan heart. If you had hate in LeBron, there's people who are just vile. They're screw LeBron, and then that he needed to do that. And then there's some people that didn't like LeBron. But he showed deference in that moment, in defeat, in respect.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're a person of character or values how you couldn't see that and respect that he
and
did that. And I'm a person, I like LeBron. LeBron's I will still say the best player I've ever seen in my life for a full year was LeBron in 2012.
Not 2012.
2012, I will say that. I said that.
2016.
2016 was excellent. He had his IQ was a little bit higher, but from a physicality, just like physical specimen, athletic. You guys gotta remember, he went to London and dominated the Olympics. Also winning 66 games and 30, what did he won, 27, 28 straight? Like, I don't know. That dude was... I'll sound like Jay's when I say this. Yeah. I watched that with my own two. That dude was beyond deified that year.
Yeah, I'm going to take...
It's kind of like, look, the best basketball player for a single year to ever live, I say, is Michael Jordan in 1992. That was his whole crux. But when I say that, but 96 is when he had the cerebral element. He maybe couldn't jump as high or run as fast. And I would say in 2016, LeBron was at that point. He didn't jump as high but run as fast. But like when you just see like a fear, like when he has figured it out. Probably like Ant-Man in 2024, 25. When he figures it out and it's like, you know, this is just Nuggets, but like. When he figures it out, it's gonna click, and he's gonna go to this astronomical place where it's just him in the world. That's where LeBron was in 2012, and that's where Jordan was in 92. To me,
but even so, to your point, it's the same thing with Peyton Manning. His talent, all that washed away before they won that championship. Mm-hmm. But his cerebral element is what kept him around.
Right.
And that's what you're basically arguing. Did you appreciate how great he was physically versus how good was he understanding the game, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what's going to be awesome with Jokic. Like, we have so many years left of Jokic just on the cerebral level, where he is not necessarily killing everybody on the way he plays, but he can still say, hey, Michael Porter, if you go right here in this, I'm going to get the ball to you, right? We have that for the next 10 plus years.
And I know we're going to talk about it.
We should go into it now.
No, we'll save that. We'll save it. But 100%. Michael Porter even said that in his interview with Jokic recent. And he said just the way he plays the game, the way he understands the game, he's going to be in contention for the MVP for the next 6 to 7 years just because what he does.
Yeah.
You know, just his character makeup. That kind of leads me in.
I was gonna say,
who has been the Nugget of the year to you? I want Jay's to start.
Yeah, take the easy one.
Let me tell you to get the master on the table first. Joker. I mean, who could imagine that he could get any better? And I mean, not just like a minuscule amount better. You know, he was here. He was at 1. Now he goes to 2 or something like 2. He went to 3. He goes from 1 to 10, and it's amazing. His skill set and his game is so much better this year because of the triple doubles were coming last year, but they're coming like easier. You know, just more simpler. Just I don't know if he's comfortable. I don't know what it is. He's happy he won the championship, but his game is off the chain. And I'm happy for him. And he's hitting, he's, what was he, player of the month? So, there you have it.
Well, I'm glad you took Jokic since I get the second easiest. I'm taking Jamal Murray.
Sure.
Or should I say Blue Mamba?
Blue Mamba.
Or should I say Blue Arrow? This dude is the dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
We never would have won this championship, obviously.
Absolutely.
This is not
one.
Really great podcasting, but without a question, we win without Jamal Murray. No. Jamal Murray is truly the guy that, what Jamal is great at? He can see when someone else is going off.
Oh, yeah.
And says, I'm not letting you get 3 points without me getting 3 points.
Yeah, right.
You get a fadeaway jumper here. I'm getting a fadeaway jumper.
Yeah.
His ability to match the best player on the court's scoring ability is so unique. Many he did it with Donovan Mitchell. He did it even so. A lot of people, Nuggets bubble, but even 2019, Jamal was doing that with Dame. He was doing that with what's his name from Boston, Derek White. Right?
Yeah. When he was with the Spurs.
With the Spurs, he was always competing with the best. And when you have that person that says, "Hey, I refuse to get outplayed by this person," that's why I always say he's the Blue Mamba. People hate me and Kobe. I'm just saying that mentality is so rare that Jamal actually has it. Last point. And even if you say, oh, this was Jamal in the bubble. What he did in the 2023 year when we won the championship, that triple double with Joker at the end of in the Heat series cemented his. That was better than the bubble. I don't care what no one says. For him to get a triple double against the Heat in the finals, it supersedes the bubble to me because we ended with a championship.
Before I go into my Nugget of the year,
okay,
I would like to say that you're 100% right about Jamal. And the cool thing is what we have going with Jokimal, as we affectionately call him.
Yes,
is that Yoke he's unfazed by the big moments.
Yep.
As I've learned about him, he understands and prepares and knows that those moments are going to come, so he doesn't waver too much. He's very even keel. Jamal rises to those moments.
Yeah.
So what it does to me, and it kind of does it to the fan base and the people watching the games, but what it really does is those players on that bench and on that court is you can split. You can go to the Jamal mindset where you race to the moment, or you can go to the Joker mindset when you are like unfazed by the moment. And if you have a team of, no pun intended, get better, Aaron Jones, AG dogs.
Yeah.
You can be of the Jamal camp, or you could be on the Murray or of the Jokic camp. And I think somebody who was my Nugget of the year, and you saw it from January to June, but then you also see it from October to now, and that is Bruce Brown.
Oh man, back then, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he changed this team. He really did. He changed them to that. Why we call this the Clyde Drexler year is because we're missing Brucey Brown. And what he did, he put us over that edge from his play, his ability to be dynamic.
Yeah.
And K-Dot mentioned this a couple of days ago when the Nuggets lost, so this must have been a little bit longer than a couple of days ago because just got off a 6-game winning streak and whatnot.
Right.
But like in those games when they just don't have it, Brucey B still put up 15 to 21.
Because that was when he showed.
Even last night, Bruce Brown. If Bruce Brown was on our team, he still probably could have lost that game. But Bruce Brown's giving you 15, 20, and he's making sure that bench is solidified.
He just
don't. And I love these bench players, and I hate to hate on P. Watt or Christian Brown. It's never about that.
No,
it's about winning. And Jokic talks about it with Michael Porter and Curious Mike, and we're gonna get to that. We have to be focused on winning. And sometimes it means, let's get a player, a Clyde Drexler, who can come in and make a difference in this team. And I don't want to get to April, get to May, where we're sitting there like other teams throughout sports who are sitting there we're missing pieces.
Well,
we don't have to. We're not in a
Bruce,
situation where we need to be missing pieces.
Uncle Jeff. Uncle Jeff could come. You could put him in and he's going to do things.
But for the purpose of who's my favorite Nugget or the Nugget of the year, he just was so unsung.
That's a great pick. Honestly, I love that pick.
Because he just was so unsung, and you feel it. You felt his presence. And within the next week and two, that would be best. Because Lord knows he deserved it. He deserved that. You know what I mean?
He just got his, right?
He should have got his this week. Yeah. You want to go into the next one?
Yeah, of course. And that's kind of what I was talking about. So here's perfect time. Nuggets most likely to blossom next year. Who is the Nugget
in 2024?
Who's most likely to blossom in 2024?
That's already on the team.
Who wants to get the first choice?
Yeah. You're not Negrodamus.
No.
So.
I'm gonna give a Peyton.
You gonna say Peyton?
Yeah, I am because he's coming up. I mean, because if you listen to some of my comments earlier on some of the earlier ones this season, I have been trying to hold him accountable, and I think
you're holding him to a high standard,
a higher standard than he, and Michael Malone challenged him.
I see it. Michael Malone does too,
and he rose to the occasion, and he's been playing darn well this last month. Mm-hmm. I mean, this whole month, December, he has showed, and so I want him to blossom. I think he's starting to blossom. I think he can blossom. He may not be the Brucey B type veteran that we need, but he's a good piece. He'll be like, what to me, if he gets as good as Christian did and handled itself like Christian did
in the
playoffs, that we'll need him. We'll need him on that bench because Christian's gonna show up. We know that. We've seen him show.
Because we're just racing for number 8. Like we have the 5 solidified. Who are the 3? That's what we're looking at. Maybe in this league, this year we might look for 9 or 10.
Well, we have a strong Reggie.
I don't think 10. 10
not
is
10,
a lot.
but we're definitely looking for 3 to 8.
Yeah.
3 to 9.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If we have a strong Reggie, and we've seen it, and we have CB and P. Watt play it back. If we get that veteran, then all we need is that veteran. We're good.
I think I'll take the next obvious one,
okay.
and that's Mr. Julian Strother.
Sure.
And reason I say that is because he you could tell the talent is there.
Mm-hmm.
It pops off the page. It is very, it's clear and evident.
He's a little MPJ like to me.
Yeah, he's got that with a hint of Jamal's game.
Yeah.
Not an attitude. We'll see if his attitude gets there, but like the game and his flow plus the MPJ just athleticism and shooting ability, I see why you say that.
And MPJ's, you had to push him to be his best self. So I think you need to push Julian to be his best self too.
Yeah,
that's what.
And I just honestly think that with more minutes and more time on court, which is a catch-22 because him being on the court means they're either killing a team, losing to a team, or someone's not on the court.
Yeah.
So that's up to him and what he puts in the off season, what he's putting in every day at practice, to just get those minutes from what they are now up a couple ticks to the point where you're kind of like Kyle said, you're within that rotation, those 9,
Coach
those
Malone
8 to 9
talked about
guys.
A little bit about Denver. They decided, or they thought about this pretty strongly, that they were going to develop their young, their draft picks, and they're doing that. But we're just saying, do multitask, right? Multitask. Develop your youngins. I get it, and get us some veterans in here. That's it. That's all.
Well, you all left me really
high and dry over there.
Dry over there because
Christian Brown.
On one hand, I want
to. No, we already know he's
on one hand, I want to say P. Watt. Obviously, on the other hand, I want to say Julian Strother. Yeah. Me saying Christian Brown.
Because he's already blossomed.
He's already kind of blossomed for
He kind of already won you an NBA championship game. Yeah, finals game.
Yeah. Let me say to CB, thank you. You knew what a zone was in the playoffs, and you played your butt off during it.
His 19 points was iconic.
Yeah, so I guess since this person hasn't blossomed in the playoff setting, I have to take Reggie Jackson.
Okay.
And it's not so much that he needs to blossom as become a better basketball player or any of that. He is who he is. We know what we get from Reggie Jackson. I would love to see him contribute to a Nuggets championship.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's where I see the blossom come from.
Okay.
You mean contribute not just by like clapping and being like
last year he was on the team.
In the playoffs and
I would love to see him
be
do
first
a
off the
Christian Brown
bench,
moment or a Bruce Brown moment where
first off the bench.
Our team's struggling, the starting five's struggling, but Reggie Jackson comes and gives us 20.
Sure.
Reggie Brown, he needs to go full Reggie Brown. He needs to be Reggie with a hint of Bruce Brown.
Yeah, there you go. Or just be himself.
He needs to go do
it.
Yeah, so
be the Nugget. Pretend like we're killing the Nuggets. Like
it's not a great choice, but at the end of the day, I do. Because he already.
I think it's a real.
The reason I say is like he doesn't need to blossom. He just needs to be who he is.
Yeah, he just needs.
That's what I'm saying. But I would pick Reggie Jackson.
But here's the thing: is like you sometimes. There's a couple movies that come to mind where the supporting actor gets more of the recognition because it's their scene when the lead actor or actress is not present.
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, wow, that person can really act.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. Is like they were a great actor. They're in the movie.
Yeah.
Reggie been in the league. He got a championship. But like when the spotlight shines on him, that's what you're saying. When does he blossom and he has that scene stealing performance? Yeah. And in that moment.
Oh, he's more than capable.
I think from my humble seat, behind a television screen or in my seat at the ball arena, he can have that moment.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get into it. Nuggets will add blank.
We'll need to.
We already said it. What we need. You already know what I'm saying. A veteran, two-way player who can get us some buckets and defend.
I'll stop you right there. What's his name?
I don't care what the name is. I just want to have meet those characters.
What's his name?
I like the archetype.
Come on, let's aliven the imaginations of the listening audience. Who is it?
We don't see. Here's the thing: we don't know who is going to be calling the Nuggets, or the Nuggets going to be calling, and we don't know if they're coming from the east or west.
That's
a Calvin Booth decision. We just know
don't
the criteria.
Do this. Come on, stop. Let's not be practical or pragmatic. Throw a name out there, because I'm gonna throw a name out there.
I know who you're gonna throw, but we're not getting him.
We all want a Bogdanovich.
Yeah.
And you probably could get that because he's lost 28 games.
No, because they won first round, second round, third round picks.
Yeah,
first
round. Detroit?
Yes, of course
they want him.
They want a lot.
Of course they.
You guys want to win. That's what you guys want. A win. You guys want 3 wins on the season. That's what y'all want. Give me your player, dog.
We're not gonna get one of their best players.
I'll take that cap money in a heartbeat.
Who do you think we need to add next year?
Me?
Yes, we already know you said. Go for it.
Because I'm not gonna sit here and be all conservative.
Whatever.
I'm gonna say who I really want, and from my lips to God's ears, into Calvin Booth's phone call and ability to negotiate, I want Klay Thompson. People say he's washed. People say you don't have it, and to get rid of Klay Thompson is a mega move because he is a solidified Hall of Famer. He's won 4 championships. He is going to have number 11 hanging in the Raptors up there with Wilt and Curry when his career is over.
I just say you're going to have to fight Steve Kerr. You are not getting Klay from that.
I won't say it. I don't think you don't win championships in this league without being practical and pragmatic. They know the writing's on the wall. They know the team as it's currently constructed.
Give them to the champs, the NBA champions in the
West. That's not give. No. Give is a very subjective word when you say it like that. Are we going to give them? No, it's quid pro quo here. The Nuggets have to give up something to get something. And if they want a future Hall of Famer was he 76, if not 70, in top 75 players, he was right there. As you said earlier, Dot, he's going to be in the top 100 for sure.
If Booker is, Klay will be. With
we're no comparison here.
No.
Klay is who he is. So I would love that. Mm-hmm. If just having him in the rotation, having him being the 6th or 7th man, that would be so big, and he has that mindset. Him and Maul had that moment after Jamal's spoken about. I heard him talk about it directly, not in person, but he said when he got hurt at Golden State, he was in the training room, and he had that realization moment that, like, dang, like, this is serious.
Yeah.
The person who came into the room, the training room, was none other than Klay Thompson himself. And he gave him some words of encouragement and yada, yada, yada. He's going through what he's going through. And you see where he got back to and got a championship out of that. Does that mean that they will have good chemistry on the court? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that like it'll work on the court, him adding? Absolutely not. But I do think that his playing style fits so well with the Denver Nuggets. And we lighten the load for him so much. And I think we call it the Clyde Drexler year. But one of the things we don't talk so much about with that team, that 95 Rockets team, is you had Akeem Olajuwon, obviously. You had Sam Cassell come into his own. You had Kenny Smith, who's a sharpshooter. You had Robert Horry. You had Vernon Maxwell. You had my guy, Mario Elie, who was excellent shooter, but can also play great defense on the perimeter. And sure, a bunch of other names I'm failing to mention right now. But when Clyde Drexler joined that team, he didn't have to do as much as he had to do in Portland.
No question.
He
wouldn't have to play as hard as he does in Warriors.
He'll play hard. He'll play hard.
He will,
but his job will now become
just
a rich man, Brent Forbes, run around and hit threes and play defense. And if we get that, and he can hit those big moments, and he's not afraid of that moment, there you go. So your turn.
And come off the bench.
Oh, he'll come off the bench. Why would he not?
What they saying, coming to America?
Yeah.
I love you.
I know, but
I want you to be here.
Stay off them drugs.
Stay off them drugs. If you think Klay Thompson...
Stay off the weed.
If you think Klay Thompson is going to get traded to the Denver Nuggets for a backup or a first-round pick, He is a Golden State legend. He's gonna retire there. If not, he might go in free agency.
Sound good though.
It sounds
good.
Sound good.
It sounded like you was on a soliloquy that was no one else was listening to.
Sound good.
We let you get your full space in.
Yeah.
But that was never gonna happen.
He dreamt it.
My pick is, and it's more like JJ's in this sense. I want an 8 or a 9. Who is gonna? I want Calvin Booth to trade for an 8 or a 9. Somebody that's gonna be a part of our playoff rotation.
I just hope.
I don't care who it is.
I just hope the listening audience.
Mom, this is why I said I didn't know we were gonna get AG.
Mm-hmm.
Man, think about it. If we're doing this podcast in 2021, who would have said, "Hey, the Nuggets can get Aaron Gordon"?
Precisely.
I just want somebody.
But he was in the
who
East.
Can fill in.
He wasn't in the West.
We don't know who we can get. I just want someone to fill in who's available at 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So even if it says, "Hey, P. Watt, I love you. You're doing well. You might come in on some playoff game.
Next year.
You're not coming in every game.
Yeah. And we got to get this
Christian
guy going.
Brown, you're great at what you do all the time.
We go get you
but
in.
But guess what? When this guy comes in,
we got to step to the side. Yeah.
That's it. Because you know what? It goes back to what Joker was saying to Jamal.
We want to win.
Michael Porter.
We got to win.
We got to win. That's all it is. We can't. See, this is the problem. You can't just give up windows. We have a championship window. We have to be putting ourselves in position to win every year. So it's nothing about. I don't want to get rid of Peyton Watson. I don't want to get rid of Julian Strawther. I don't want to get rid of CB.
Mm-hmm.
If there's somebody that is honestly clearly better than them, of course we'd want them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
I mean,
all right. So let's go into the last one. This time next year, Nuggets will be blank.
Winners, champions again.
Two-time champions.
Two-time champions. Two-time champions.
Four-time champion.
Next year, 2 times. It'll be end of December, beginning of January.
2-time champion.
2-time champion.
Where are you going with, Chris?
I think there's so much that needs to happen, and to go back to the last thing, notice when listening to this podcast that only one person of this trio we got going said a name. That's neither here nor there. If the Nuggets are able to make a Clyde Drexler type move or buyout, I think we're looking at a 2-time back-to-back champion. If they don't,
still can win the West.
I think they'll make moves in the offseason because they'll realize that losing's not fun, and like you just said, Dot, that this is their window. So they would have had a good summer of 2024, and they would have picked up a name or two, and they will be poised with the best record in the NBA at New Year's Eve time 2024 to make that push in 2025. Yeah. So I think they'll either be, defending and going for a three-peat, or they didn't make a move
very close in
the next couple weeks.
If they don't make a move, if they
didn't make a move in the next couple weeks, they'll have a good summer and they'll be one of the top 2 seeds in the West. I don't know. I'm sorry. I know that's a definitive but it's a definitive split. I'm not Calvin Booth. I don't know.
I'm with you 1,000%. If the Nuggets make a move at the trade deadline that makes us clearly better than every team,
we're good.
Obviously, we're going to go for another championship.
Yeah.
If this team is built the way we are, we're for sure. And no crazy moves happen in the NBA. Because NBA, some random thing happen.
I don't know, like KD to the Suns.
Exactly. Based on what the West is looking like, I don't see where another team outside the Nuggets are going to make it to the championship. We're still the best team in the West. We are the best.
We're the best team.
I don't care about where we're situated right now. We're still the best team in the West.
I agree with you. No. I agree with you. I agree that we're the best team in the West. I get that. However, we have moments where we just lose, like last night. Mm-hmm. I know we didn't want to talk about it. We are on a back-to-back, or we don't have home court because we're coming in number 3 or 4 and not number 1. Okay?
I still don't think that matters because this is why I don't think it matters. Nikola, you can put Nikola in any environment, he's gonna show up. Mm-hmm. Jamal Murray, you can put that man in Kitchener. He's gonna hoop. It doesn't matter. So AG's the same way. Michael Porter's the same way.
It depends on health.
It doesn't matter if we're home or away. We're gonna play well.
Yeah.
The problem becomes who is on our bench that makes us continue to win.
Because they gotta rest.
Because
they can't play 20 games or 16 or whatever.
We didn't have that issue last year where if Nicole has to take a bench, all this. we still knew we had Bruce Brown to come hoop.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So we just need that belief. This is my issue with the Nuggets, and I love them. I just don't have a true belief in all the guys off the bench yet to say, hey, Nikola can sit for 8 minutes, and it's going to still result in clear wins for us.
At least handed back where he left.
It's still 50-50. Like some days, P. Watt and CB come in, and it's guaranteed. They're playing so well, we win the championship. I mean, we win the game. Other times they come in, and it's like useless minutes. And I'm not hating on them. It's just the truth.
Just cardio.
It's just we don't have any points, no movement, no nothing. And last night was a great example of that, where we just don't have a lot. And Jamal didn't have a great game.
No.
Other people didn't have a great game. But I'm saying the bench didn't show up and say, hey, starters are tired.
Yeah.
We don't have AG. I'm coming in to hoop for you. Yeah. Like, CB should have been like, hey, I'm taking this game over.
Sure.
Y'all don't have to worry about me. Yeah. Bruce Brown did that every single time when the starters didn't want to do it.
Most times.
See, here's the thing. Adding more context to the Clyde Drexler narrative that this podcast has.
Yep.
They were a 6 seed. You know, and I'm in the Nuggets.
Who was the 6 seed?
The Rockets, the 94-95 Rockets. They were a 6 seed.
Yep.
The Nuggets, I'm not gonna say they're gonna be a 6 seed, but we'll see if they're the 1 or 2.
I'm not saying
that is a juggle.
We don't have to be a 1 to win.
Are they gonna be a juggle? So that means they're got to go on the road. And I mentioned this to you both last night. I mentioned this to you both last night. Is one thing that the Nuggets have that I don't think a lot of the national media and some fans, like if you just became a fan of the Nuggets, I don't know, last season, you forgot this little tidbit too, is the Nuggets have experience playing in Game 7.
And closing.
They've played in 5 Game 7s. Like, they know what it takes to... Yeah. They eliminate noise very well. Like, last season, they were the 1 seed. Yeah. They had all home court throughout. And and now we can say it. It didn't feel like it. And now it's like, you know when you go through a traumatic moment, but you got through it, and you're like, I could talk about it now. The Nuggets, I'm not saying it was that traumatic, but, like, that was playoff high intensity. They played 20 games. They won 16. They breezed through the NBA. Call it what it is. They didn't lose 11 games. They kind of wiped the floor with everybody there. They only lost 4 games. So in saying that, put that in context, the team they beat to win the championship lost 3 games.
Yeah, but
and
Minnesota
to even get there,
wasn't playing the way Minnesota plays.
They're a different team now.
And if we see them first, and they're
but what I'm
1,
saying is,
and they're at home, and they want to beat us because they lost to us last year.
Thank you for jumping to my. Thank you for jumping to the point I'm going to make. The Nuggets will have to go win those games in Minnesota. Yeah. They'll have to go win those games in Oklahoma City. They'll have to go win those games, and I'll stop there because no one else is going to top. Yeah, right. Maybe Sacramento, but we'll see. And then, as you said, the someone falls out the sky and they're there. But then I also think they can go to Philadelphia and win a couple games. They can go to Boston and steal a game.
And I just think this is me. I see Boston and I see the
Milwaukee.
76ers and Milwaukee. I still think I'm like LeBron now. You get out the West, you're gonna win. Yeah, you got a good shot.
I called it at the beginning of this season episode. I think it's still gonna be Nuggets versus Boston. That's what I believe.
Versus Boston. Huh?
Yes, and to be honest, I'm not worried about Timberwolves because I know at the end of the day when it comes to a playoff series, not just I see you mid-game December, there's a lot of things that go into X and O's that make those games way different. Let's go into not Nuggets. We'll do it rapid fire.
Okay.
Same kind of order. Game of the year last year. Christoph, let's start with you.
Didn't we say game of the year already?
For the non-Nuggets now.
Oh, non-Nuggets people.
Non-Nuggets game of the
Non-Nuggets. Year. Okay, clarify. Because I was going to say we said the championships and, we already said. Okay.
Can I pick a random one if you don't have one?
Go for one off the top, yeah.
All right. I'll go with the game that was just too many points. Wasn't it the Kings versus the Clippers?
Yeah, did you? Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
Oh,
many points. Oh, it was almost an NBA record. Too many points to go around. My Lord. I'm not saying it was the best game. It was the best offensive game. And I'm glad I'm out.
Oh, I got one.
Choose one that's a little.
It just happened. Detroit almost beat Boston the other night and took them overtime. And they were like trying to get 28 games down now or something. That was a game. Yeah. That was a game. That's one. I'll call that one. That was just recently, last week. So that's my game because that was a good game. They should have won. They had Boston on the ropes. You can't go to overtime with Boston. You should have beat them in regulation.
There's a couple I really do dig. I know Luka and Booker got into it a couple times. Some of my favorites were Giannis about to fight the entire Indiana Pacers for that ball. That was pretty funny. I don't know. For whatever reason, this moment keeps jumping into my head. So maybe that's just the moment of the year.
LeBron winning the end game in season?
No, yeah, okay. So
LeBron winning the end season?
Jimmy Butler hitting that very clutch shot. What was that? Was that second round? Yeah. I feel like he I forget the necessarily.
Yeah.
It was just a great game. It was Jimmy Butler going for 53, and he was just an absolute monster.
Remember when he got mad at us earlier? What's the game? Call the game.
Yeah, you did say you were
I'm
the
trying. I don't want to. I don't want to mess up.
Now you don't.
I don't. No. It was when he scored 53. I just don't know if it was game 2 or game 3.
Okay, one of those. Sure.
It was one of those two in the semis. Yeah, that was good, and that was a good game.
All right, how about this? Player of the year, non-Nugget.
This past year, Joel Embiid.
MVP. LeBron for scoring.
Okay, LeBron. I'll give it to someone that's unique. I'll give it to Jason Tatum. And the reason I say Jason Tatum is because we're in an era where he's never going to... Same with Luka. Luka has a better chance even more than Jason Tatum. We're in an era where the MVP is going to rotate through 3 guys. You're either going to get Nikola, you're going to get Joel Embiid, you're going to get...
Luka
or Giannis.
Luka or Giannis.
So Tatum is honestly hooping his brains out, but he just never gets the accolades.
Because he's talking about SGA now and Halliburton.
Yeah, I said back in the day, 32 points and 8 rebounds was enough to win your championship. Now you got to win an MVP. Now you got to be putting up triple doubles.
Yeah.
And MVP is just tough.
True.
So I'll give it to Tatum.
Okay.
Moment
of the year. Can I get the first one?
Take it.
LeBron
James.
Damn. I want to get that before y'all got
it was
LeBron passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, obviously.
And winning the in-season tournament and all that. And being 39
You can have that one. I don't want that one. I want him beating
was.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That was just a crazy moment. And to see Kareem pass that ball, humbly or not, was just a unique moment.
I don't have one off the top of my head, so I'm going to take the B-rated version of what you just said. When he passed the minutes moment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
LeBron?
Yeah, when he had the most minutes of all time.
Yeah, right.
So your turn, Jace.
Now, moment of the year other than...
The Nuggets stuff.
The Nuggets moment. Wow. I'm just a Nuggets fan. I just don't know. I guess, okay. I'm from, I always say this, I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm going to say when Embiid got the MVP. Not when he got the trophy, but when his family came up and they were up there and he finally got what he wanted. That was a moment.
Honestly thought you were going to say...
I would never expect that from you, so
when
I'll take it.
Giannis lost at Philadelphia... And he was shooting the free throws after the game, and the dude was trying to fix the scores table, and he had the ladder out there, and Giannis pushed the ladder.
That's a funny moment.
I thought you were saying
I picked the moment when LeBron was going off when he was it against Boston when that man was losing his mind over the bad call.
Yeah.
That had memes for days.
And Pat
Bev with the camera.
Oh, Pat Bev.
He brought the camera to the ref.
Yeah.
Pat Bev came out and was like, send the video.
My MVP finally getting
I have to say it just because that's funny. Mm-hmm. All right, non-Nugget most likely to bloom next year.
To blossom.
Wow. Halliburton. Maxey.
I have a out of left field one.
What's that?
So do you want me to save it or do you want to go?
No, go for it. I gave you my
I'm saying who's somebody that's not talked about a lot right now.
I know, because those dudes are blooming right now.
Yeah.
They're kind of
blooming. They're blooming
Same with
in
Ant-Man.
Yeah,
2023. So you're saying like...
They're going to continue to just go crazy.
Yeah, most likely to bloom in 2024.
If they're blooming, they will blossom into a flower.
Yeah. This one, like I said, is out of left field, but I truly do believe it because I watched a game and a half on League Pass last week. Brandon Miller, the second overall pick this last year from the
I've heard
Hornets.
Really well,
he has game.
Yeah,
he just has he has something. He has something about him that I think if he puts together right now, I think he's only averaging like 14 points right now. I think he's averaging
so he could get better
on the season right now. He's averaging 14.9 almost 4 rebounds and 2 assists on 31 minutes, but he's a rookie. Yeah. He's learning the NBA, and when it clicks, what's his upside? Maybe Paul George. Maybe Paul George.
That would be an honor.
I'm gonna hedge my bet.
I know what you're gonna say.
Clearly, the obvious one. I'm gonna go with Wemby.
I was gonna say nobody said Wemby yet.
So I just want that to be my one you hear on the mic.
Okay.
My next one, a little bit less. What's his name? Sagoon from Houston.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I think he got some game. I think it's unique. He has. It's not. He's nowhere near Joker. Mm-hmm. But what I see with him is
he's baby Joker.
Well, I say he does things on the court where you can't explain it quite well, and he can get it against the best players you know. Mm-hmm. And that's what Jokic had before the NBA knew who Jokic was, when just Nuggets fans were talking about Jokic. Jokic did things on the court where you looked at it and said, hey, he just did that against...
Yeah, the best. One of the best.
He just did that against whoever, right? You say, he was like, oh, he did that against Joel Embiid. JaVale McGee. He did that against blank. He did that against Dwight Howard. He said if he can do that against them, he can do it against other people. And I've seen Sagoon doing it against a couple players that was surprising. So now I might have to pick him.
I got another one.
From Houston, if you're not familiar.
You're going to say he's already blossomed and put him in the same with Maxey in it, but he's not quite maxing him. Paolo Banchero.
That's a good pick.
That is a good one.
He is blooming. But he has
not
blossomed.
Yeah,
but he's balling.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about this. I was like, should I say Scoot? But then I went back and watched Scoot. Scoot is a couple seasons away.
Yeah, he's not right away.
I think Brandon Miller has the upside of tomorrow.
I can see that.
You know, where it can latch a little bit earlier than Scoot.
That's fair. All right.
That's on wax now.
Which is our final 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
Literally for our show for the year.
This is literally 2 minutes left of our whole show. I don't know if you all watched it. I'm sure you are. If you're on Nuggets Twitter, you've already obviously seen this. And me and Chris have also been alluding to it this whole podcast. MPJ and Nikola Jokic had one of the coolest conversations. Jokic never does podcasts, so this one was really cool to see.
Has he ever? I wonder.
No, never. He has never done a podcast, to my knowledge. He's done interviews, of course.
Congratulations, MPJ.
But when MPJ got him on the on the podcast, Jokic even said it was his favorite podcast ever. He said he got better questions from Michael Porter. And to be fair, what Michael Porter was able to pull from Jokic was really great.
Okay.
So, Christoph, do you have any comments on that?
No, absolutely. I think one of the biggest takeaways immediately I had was it was kind of late in the interview, but he asked he didn't ask a question. He just was making, and it was MPJ making mention of that the Nuggets have a lot of like dudes on their team who are not obsessed with fame. They're obsessed with winning.
I love that. I love
and
that part too.
They don't care about fame comes with winning.
Sure.
And as Jokic said, it's the media that surrounds these dudes that just play basketball for a living. And he said, but it gets us paid, you know, and every multi-million-dollar man in that locker room understands, like, having that type of paycheck is nice. However, all you're doing is playing basketball, you know? So it's like that delicate balance that they kind of were talking about, which was very interesting to see. But, like, they said, like, the things that come with it are these, like, oh, how many followers I got, how much fame, like, what's my drip looking like, how much the Cartier watch, like, what doesn't matter? What matters is winning on that court. And they both had that, and they both talked about it. And MPJ said, I think our team has that. And he said that there's been other players that had been other places, that had been traded to the Nuggets. And he said the culture is that. It's like people, they like each other. They genuinely like each other on and off the court, and they all care about winning. And as a fan, like, I'm like, perfect. You know, like, that's the team that's my favorite sports team of all sports teams that exist. And when you hear that your players, and you have one of them who's, if not the best player in the world, but second, third, like, he is the best player on the planet. Yeah. You know, so it's like, and everyone's leading off of that, and like, it's just the humility and the buy-in. It's tight. You know, I don't know what else to say about it. So that was pretty cool, like, to hear that they act, what I thought I knew about them is actually true.
My favorite I have two little, so I have like a personal one, obviously. when Mike, because Michael Porter ends it. Me and Chris always laugh at it. Michael, curious Mike's always end with like a hot mic. Like, he always be saying like funny stuff at the end, honestly. But one of the things that I loved about from that part where he was talking about just from his own perspective was how he talks about what the team values. He says we value habits over goals, right? Habits over goals. Okay. He said we're a habits over goals franchise. We always focus on that. He said that's something he's even incorporated into his life and the way he meditates or where he prays and all that, all the things he talks about in his personal life. He said, but it also matters when they go for what they want to go with. He's like, we don't focus on, hey, we're going to win this championship. It's like, hey, we want to be the type of people that create really great habits so that we can win through the regular season, that we can win through the playoffs, that ultimately lead to the championship. Okay. I thought that was really good, just personal antidote for anybody. Because I think so many times, especially going into the new year, we're all talking about, New Year's resolutions. But what are your habits that are going to really make the difference for you, right? Yeah. So I thought that was a really good one. The other one I really loved is how Jokic talked about how he deals with crunch time moments, right? So Jokic talks about how he focuses on, he said, I don't really focus on he said, of course I have the fear. He said, fear is there. You know what I mean? He said, I focus on the preparation prior to that, right? So how do I become the type of person that's ready for those moments? Yes. And I thought that was really good because if you watch Jokic, and Michael Porter was really trying to pull it out of him. He's like, how are you so cool in this moment? I texted you about this. Like, how do you become so cool in these moments? And Jokic, he said, if I focus on the preparation, I know what's going on in the game. I know what's going on there. So it's easy. It's easier said than done. Like
we saw it. We saw him do that.
You do see it in Joker, how calm and cool collected is.
No, we saw it in championship moments because either those teams, those series that we saw, they all played differently. Because Joker always talks about playing different. We play different than we just play how we are. Yeah. But he analyzed, or whatever you want to call it, each one of those the way they play. Because he said it. I heard him say it just today about the losing last night when I was looking at some of the his press conferences afterwards. He said they played a certain way, but we play a different way. Exactly. But we didn't play the way we played last night. They played how they played. They brought their A game, and that's how they play. So he knows how he knows how to play the way that the Nuggets can always win, and that's what he's saying. Through the habits that you have, through how you prepare, all of it. So if he gets all those lined up, he's not worried about it.
They said we're surprised when we lose. Like, they're literally like, it's on more of us than it is on another team.
And Jamal said that too in his press conference.
You can hear it in Jamal. Last time we was talking, you can hear that mentality.
They were trying to pull out what they regularly would hear from people. What do you think happened? They played better. They did the zone, or they did the this and then whatever. But Jamal said, no, it's always that. But they brought their A game. We just didn't play our game. We didn't play our game, and we don't play our game. We don't win, and that's what Joker's trying to convey.
Another interesting takeaway from that was Joker's focus on no phones. Right? He said, I don't really use. He said, I want to become the type of person that when I retire from the NBA, I just never have to use my phone.
And he also said, I want to be a person that, like, my daughter, or he said my kid, remembers me as a dad and not a basketball player.
Sure.
It's funny because we say, he's like Tim Duncan, but this man really is like Tim Duncan. That's the cool part about Yo.
No, but the thing is, like, when people say that, they say it so nonchalant, like he doesn't care. He cares to the point of, like, I want to win.
Yeah.
He is truly
it's not like he's not going in there to get a paycheck. Yeah. No. He's going in there, he's like, if I'm going to do this,
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Yeah, no, I get that.
Why not
That's my mentality. If you're going to take your time and your effort and all that away from your family and all the travel and everything, we're going to win this.
And from what you want to do, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing at the end of the day is, like, in that Curious Mike podcast does a good job of highlighting this, is like, I don't mean to say it in a belittling way, but it's like at the end of the day, they're just playing basketball. Yeah. But it's like they have a bunch of eyeballs and media attention, so that creates notoriety and fame on top of it, and wealth. But at the end of the day, it's like they're just great at what they do. Yeah. As Jokic said, he wants to be, his goal in life is to be like a horse racer, and he wants to go back and race in Germany and Sweden and in Italy and all these other places in Europe. And, like, that's what he really wants to do. But, like, basketball has set him up with the ability to be able to do that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, so we won a couple more championships, Jordan.
Whereas
do that.
Michael Porter, it seems like he's still seeking. And that's what I really do enjoy about this podcast is, like, rather he's talking to AG or Bones or Brandon Roy or whomever he's talking with, he's asking great questions because you could tell that he's searching for something within himself.
Or he can learn.
Learn.
Think he's really
but it's good. I think the best thing people can do is seek that knowledge within themselves. It's like you got to unlearn to relearn to learn. Yeah. And he's on that quest, and he's brave enough and being vulnerable enough to set up a camera as Dot is, as JJ is, as Christoph is, to put a mic in front of us and talk about it, because you become the man in the arena that people can be like, oh, their takes are awful, but you are behind the keyboard. You're not saying anything, and they are on the court. They're really, this is their life, and Michael Porter is doing an excellent job with his podcast.
Yeah, I would say he's doing a great job, and I would also argue that Michael Porter is truly finding himself through community, through friends, through life,
and through the
podcast.
Through the Nuggets.
That he is truly he's you can hear him like, hey, I'm focusing on this in this season. I love the way our team does this. And I think sometimes so many people want this outside source of all these things, but he sees people coming into the Nuggets and seeing like, whoa, you guys do this culture way different. And he's like, okay, maybe I don't need to leave here or go anywhere else. Like, this is the place to be because we have our unique structure. And because it's the end of the year and it's the close of our podcast,
we gotta sing Old Lang Syne or something.
Completely different. No. Okay. Completely different. But I do want to, because we are good podcasters, I do want to apologize. I did say at the beginning of the year that I thought Detroit was going to be a good basketball team. They're, in fact, not a good basketball team. However, I do still believe in Cade Cunningham. And that's the Just Nuggets podcast for you all. Yeah. That is the end of 2023. I want to apologize on that before. Yeah. My name is Cade Colley. I am proud to be the point guard of this podcast.
K-Dot.
How are you all doing?
And Take care. I'm just Janet. Go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets.
How did the crow taste with the black peas?
I'm done with the crow. I just want to get the crow off. Yeah. I need to get that bad energy off. Detroit's a bad basketball team. Cade Cunningham, I still believe in you. And if you want to follow us on TikTok or on Twitter, you can find us on Just Nuggets Pod. We are out. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.